Hello, YouTube. All right, so we have a haul video. I don't want to say this is the first haul of 2021 because these are books that I got for Christmas and like a couple of days before Christmas. So I just wanted to do the video so I can show you guys what I got. 3 of these videos, if you saw my, or I said 3 of these videos, oh my goodness, 3 of these books, if you watched my book of the month video, you will see that these 3 books was in that box. So I'm going to start with those, and then the other 4 are books that I got for Christmas or before Christmas. So we'll start with the book of the month videos. Or books. Oh my goodness, why do I keep saying videos? Alright, The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. And I already read you guys what the synopsis is, so if you want to know what the synopsis is, go back to the book of the month video, or check out the book of the month video. The next one is not The Invisible Girl, but Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. And Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. So those are the book of the month video, or books, book of the month books. Why do I keep saying videos? I have no idea. All right, and now we get into the other books. So first up we have The Stand by Stephen King. My husband got me this one when we were shopping for our food for Christmas at Sam's Club. I don't know if anybody's ever shopped at Sam's Club, but they got a little bit of everything there. And they had quite a few books on sale there. And while I wanted to buy a total of like 5 books, my husband's just like, we don't have $50 to spend on books, on 5 books at that. He likes it when I can say, we spend $50 on books and I go to the Goodwill and get like way more than 5 books. So I got just one, and I got The Stand. I chose The Stand because this TV series is out now and I really want to watch it, but I feel like I also need to read it before I watch it because I don't want any spoilers for myself. And plus, sometimes the book just turns out better. And sometimes they're, you know, just as good as the book. But, you know, reading before is better. All right. And the next 3 books will be the books I got for Christmas. My Secret Santa, which was my brother, Danger. I have 4 brothers. Danger is the one who had me for Secret Santa. So first up is The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. Now, this book I read when I was in high school. I believe it was my junior year in high school. So there's nothing about this book that I don't know. And most people know about the Amityville Horror. If not, this book pretty much is a document on the family that moves into this house on, I believe it's Rhode Island, in Rhode Island. But anyway, the house comes to life by malevolent spirit that wants to take the family, and it starts with the father. Before this family moves in, there was a family before where the oldest son, or the eldest son, however you want to say it, was hearing these voices, and he murdered his family. I think it was one by one. But this is just the document of the family that moved in after the family of the oldest son who killed his siblings. So when I read this, this will be a reread. I asked for this one because I've read it before, and I like the story. I like to investigate through reading only the supernatural and watching movies. I personally, hold on, my thing is about to But I personally like reading supernatural horror, whether it's fiction or real life. You know, people believe that it happened. So, and then there are some things that do just happen that people can't explain. Supernatural horror is actually one of my favorite horrors. So, speaking of supernatural horror, we have The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. This will also be a reread. I also read this when I read this one when I was in middle school, elementary school or middle school. Against my mom's wishes, of course, because that's what I used to do, is sneak and read horror because it was just more entertaining to me. And I started off with sci-fi horror, and then I slowly moved to supernatural horror. And when I moved to supernatural horror, I first watched the movie, and then I was very, very intrigued by the movie and wanted to read more. So then I read the book. And I found the book, I believe, at a Goodwill or at my library on sale, because we used to go to our library all the time for, you know, just time away from home or whatever. So yeah, and this is, will be a reread. And this book is about a young girl who moves in with her aunt in St. Louis, which is where I live. And I actually live now 15 minutes away from the house. And at first I used to live literally 3 minutes away from the house. When I first moved back to St. Louis. And then growing up in St. Louis, I didn't realize that I used to live within 10 minutes of the house, no matter where we moved in St. Louis, when I was younger. And then there was one point when I was younger where we used to live right, like within 5-minute walking distance from the hospital, which was St. Louis University Hospital. Or actually, I think it's like the Andrew Brothers or something like that. But a lot of it took place at St. Louis University. And we used to live down there too. Now, there is a movie called Possession that gets confused with The Exorcist, and Possession took place on the SLU campus, and the movie is even out about that. So that there's confusion between the two. I still get confused between the two because the stories are pretty much the same. But yeah, so this is about a young girl. I don't remember her age, but I want to say that she was somewhere around 10, maybe older, maybe younger. And she moves in, or she visits her aunt, and they play with a Ouija board in the basement. And then she goes back home. I think it was like during the holidays that this happens. And then she goes home, and then, you know, things starts to happen. A possession occurs, and then she ends up moving back in with her aunt, I believe. And then they get the priest involved, and they perform an exorcism until she is healed. Now there is 3 movies with this, so I'm guessing that the demon went away for a while and came back. But I've read the story. I didn't get very, very much into it, so I'd like to read it again and then, you know, watch the other movies. But I think this is the only book to all 3 movies, so, you know. And then, last but not least, we have another supernatural horror. At least I believed it to be supernatural horror, but it's on the, is it nonfiction? No, fiction side of things. Fiction, fake, right? Yeah. I get those things mixed up all the time. But anyway, not real side of things. And it is Stephen King's The Shining. I've watched both movies. I did not like The Shining, the movie The Shining. Mainly because I've always thought as Jack Nicholson as a very scary, creepy sort of guy. I just always has. I watched another movie of him when I was little, and I think it was like the Witches of Brunswick or Witches of something Wick. I can't remember, but he was a really gross person in that movie, and that he scared the crap out of me in that movie. And ever since then, I'd always been scared of the man, like in movies. Obviously not in person because I've never met him, but he's creepy, and I didn't like the movie. But I did like the storyline and the plot of the movie. I'd never read the book, so I wanted to read the book and then watch the movie again in hopes of maybe forming a different opinion as an older person who's read the book instead of as a younger child that had read or that had watched the movie only. And I already have the second book, but I had been holding off on reading the second book because I wanted to read the first one, and it's taken me so long because I was hoping to find a copy of this at the Goodwill, since that's where I've gotten most of my Stephen King books. But I had still, in my 3 years in starting trying to collect the Stephen King books, I still never came across this book at the Goodwill, so I had to go ahead and purchase the mass paperback production from Amazon, and I think it was like 7 or 8 books. So went ahead and got that. So those are all of my books, all 7 of them. That is my book haul for the end of 2020, and some books that can go on my TBR for 2021. So until next time, that is all I have for you, and bye.